There's one mistake millions of men over 60 make every single day, and they don't even realize it. No pain, no fever, no drama. Just a quiet habit that feels normal until one day their urine stream slows, the bathroom trips multiply, and the discomfort becomes too big to ignore. By then, the damage is already underway, and their prostate is under siege. This might sound harsh, but let me ask you something. How many times have you told yourself, it's just part of getting older? Waking up twice, 3 times a night to pee. That feeling that your bladder never fully empties. The hesitation before the stream starts. The pressure in your lower belly. The truth is, it's not just aging. It's a slow reaction to something you've been doing for years. Or maybe something you're not doing. Now here's the catch. It's not some rare illness. It's not even about genetics. It's about daily habits. Things so small and familiar that they fly under the radar. Holding your urine in too long, sitting for hours without moving, letting constipation build up quietly, skipping water to avoid bathroom breaks. These habits seem harmless until they're not. They lead to poor circulation, chronic inflammation, and yes, even prostate enlargement. Doctors across the country are seeing the same thing. Men who wait too long to act. Men who endure in silence. Men who live with discomfort, not because they have to, but because no one ever explained what was really happening. As one urologist told me, it's not the symptoms that scare me, it's how long men ignore them. But not you. You're here. You're watching this because something inside you knows it's time to take control. And the good news is, you can. You don't need a pill for everything. Sometimes real healing starts with awareness and a few smart, consistent changes. By the end of this video, you'll understand the 5 most overlooked habits that are wrecking your prostate, disturbing your urinary health, and keeping you locked in a cycle of discomfort. You'll also know exactly what to do about them, using simple, natural, and proven strategies to support your body from the inside out. So here's what I want you to do right now. Hit the like button so this video reaches more men who need it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. We're building a space for clarity, not confusion. And drop a comment if you've been struggling with any of these symptoms. You don't need to share your whole story. Just say, I'm ready. Because the moment you decide to take your health seriously, everything starts to shift. Let's dive in. Common urinary symptoms may indicate prostate problems. John is a 67-year-old retired mechanic who used to sleep like a rock, but recently he's been waking up 2 or 3 times a night to pee. At first, he brushed it off, maybe too much water before bed. But the feeling of not fully emptying his bladder, the constant urgency, and that slow, hesitant stream started to worry him. He felt embarrassed bringing it up. Turns out, his prostate was trying to get his attention the only way it knew how, by messing with his urine flow. Here's the truth. Waking up multiple times to urinate, feeling like your bladder never empties, and straining just to get started aren't just part of getting older. These are classic warning signs that your prostate is inflamed or enlarged. And when your prostate grows, it presses against the bladder and urethra, causing discomfort and a disruption in natural circulation and flow. Think of your bladder like a balloon. Constant pressure from an enlarged prostate forces it to work harder, which weakens the muscles over time. That's when urgency, leakage, and night trips start creeping in. It's not just about sleep, it's about quality of life and control. And if left untreated, these urinary symptoms often lead to more serious complications. A practical step? Start tracking your bathroom habits. Write down how often you go, the volume, and how it feels. Share this with your doctor. It may feel silly, but trust me, it can reveal patterns that uncover prostate inflammation early. And remember, your prostate doesn't care how tough you are. It cares how consistent you are. One thing many men don't expect, the emotional toll. Losing control, fearing accidents, planning life around restrooms. It slowly chips away at confidence. But awareness is power. Once you understand these symptoms are your body's SOS, you can finally respond with clarity, not panic. And the root of this problem? It doesn't start with pain. It starts with patterns. Daily, quiet ones. The kind you do without even thinking. Let's talk about them next. Daily silent habits contribute to prostate enlargement. Michael, 72, lives alone and enjoys his quiet routine. Morning coffee, afternoon TV, evening crossword puzzles. Nothing seems unhealthy on the surface, but years of sitting too much, eating processed snacks, skipping water, and avoiding movement had quietly created the perfect storm for prostate enlargement. His daily habits, seemingly harmless, were slowly fueling inflammation and compressing his pelvic region. That's the tricky part. What hurts you most rarely announces itself. A sedentary lifestyle, poor hydration, and low fiber intake all contribute to poor circulation and pelvic tension. And over time, that tension pushes back on your bladder, your urine flow, and especially your prostate. Medical professionals often say, it's not aging that damages the prostate, it's inaction. And that couldn't be more true. Without movement, blood flow slows, toxins build, and inflammation becomes chronic. Before you know it, you're peeing more, sleeping less, and wondering when things started going sideways. So, what can you do? Swap one still habit for one movement. Walk for 10 minutes after lunch. Drink a glass of water every 2 hours. Add walnuts, tomatoes, or spinach to your meals. These aren't life overhauls, they're life reinforcements. Small wins that support your prostate instead of sabotaging it. A big misconception? That slowing down is rest. But stillness without intention is just stagnation, especially in the pelvic area. And your prostate, believe me, notices that. When circulation drops, pressure rises, and that pressure leads to more urinary symptoms. And speaking of pressure, let's look at what happens when you literally hold it in. Because when you delay that bathroom trip, your prostate pays the price. Holding urine for too long increases pressure and inflammation. Gary, 66, would joke that his bladder could survive a desert. He'd skip restroom breaks during road trips, meetings, even movies. "I've got control," he'd say. But over time, that control became discomfort. Hesitant streams, burning sensations, and constant urges led to a diagnosis: prostate inflammation caused by years of urinary retention. Holding your urine might seem like a show of willpower, but physiologically, it's a red flag. When you ignore the urge to pee, your bladder stretches, the walls strain, and your prostate, which sits just below, gets caught in the pressure. That pressure triggers inflammation, and repeated tension can even lead to permanent urinary symptoms. Here's what most guys don't hear. Delaying urination rewires your nervous system. Your pelvic floor becomes tense. Your circulation slows. Your body starts seeing holding it in as normal, even when it's harmful. Over time, this leads to incomplete emptying, infections, and chronic prostate irritation. A simple fix? Set reminders to use the bathroom, especially before long drives or events. Don't wait until it's urgent. Keep hydrated throughout the day, but avoid chugging liquids all at once. Instead, sip consistently. Clearer urine means less irritation to the bladder and fewer wake-ups at night. And let's be real, there's no medal for bladder endurance. What's heroic is listening to your body before it screams. One funny but true line I heard from a urologist: "Your bladder isn't a vault. Don't treat it like Fort Knox." But Gary's story doesn't stop there, because while he was clenching one problem, another was building pressure too, inside his gut. Chronic constipation puts pressure on the prostate and worsens symptoms. Frank, 70, didn't think much of going days without a bowel movement. "I'm just not regular," he'd say. But that growing bloat and pelvic discomfort weren't just digestion issues. They were signs that his constipation was directly affecting his prostate, increasing inflammation and worsening his urinary symptoms. The colon and prostate are neighbors. When the bowel is backed up, it presses against the bladder and prostate, disrupting urine flow and increasing pelvic tension. The result? A higher risk of infections, discomfort during urination, and a feeling like something is always pressing down, because it is. But the impact goes beyond pressure. Chronic constipation means toxins remain in the gut longer, which can leak back into the bloodstream and elevate inflammation throughout the body, including in the prostate. Frank made a change. He added chia seeds, kefir, and warm lemon water into his mornings. He also started walking daily and avoided sitting for more than an hour at a time. In less than a month, not only did his digestion improve, but so did his urinary symptoms. Your gut is your second brain and your prostate's quiet partner. Balance the gut and you support the whole system. Skip it and pressure builds, literally and figuratively. And if you think sitting on the toilet too long is bad, wait until we talk about sitting off the toilet all day long.
Prolonged sitting reduces circulation and promotes prostate growth. Richard, 74, enjoyed retirement with books, puzzles, and long afternoons on the couch. But those comfy hours came at a cost. Over time, his urinary symptoms worsened. He didn't feel pain, just that annoying stream delay, nighttime urgency, and a growing heaviness in his pelvis. It wasn't aging, it was circulation, or the lack of it. Sitting compresses the pelvic area, reducing blood flow and allowing inflammation to fester. And guess who suffers first? The prostate. With less oxygen and nutrient supply, the tissue becomes sluggish, inflamed, and prone to growth. It's a bit like a traffic jam. When nothing's moving, pressure builds, and when that pressure is internal, around your bladder and prostate, you start seeing the same backup in your own body. Urgency, leaks, incomplete voiding, a silent storm of symptoms. Richard added small changes, standing every hour, pedaling under his desk, stretching in the living room. These movements boosted circulation and reduced his pelvic pressure. Within weeks, his sleep improved, and so did his urine flow. You don't need a gym membership. You need intention. Stand while making calls. Walk after meals. Do gentle stretches. Because the longer you sit, the louder your prostate will complain. So the real question is, how many of these habits are silently stacking against you?
You've just learned what most men over 60 never hear. Not from their friends, not even from their doctors. That your daily life, the little choices you make without thinking, have the power to protect your prostate or quietly destroy it. It doesn't happen overnight, it builds. One skipped walk, one ignored urge to pee, one more day of constipation you brush off. And slowly, your urinary symptoms become your new normal. But it doesn't have to be that way. Maybe no one ever told you that holding your urine in for too long can weaken your bladder and inflame your prostate. Maybe no one explained how prolonged sitting cuts off circulation and triggers prostate enlargement. And maybe, just maybe, you thought waking up 3 times a night to pee was just what happens after 60. But now you know better. And that knowledge is power if you use it. Let me ask you something. What's the cost of doing nothing? Is it another night of broken sleep? Another week of waiting social plans out of fear you won't find a bathroom in time? Another year of silently watching your quality of life fade while your symptoms grow louder? You don't need to live like that. You really don't. Because the truth is, it only takes one decision to turn things around. One change, one new habit, one yes to your health. You don't need to fix everything overnight. You just need to take one step today. Start walking daily. Add fiber to your plate. Listen to your body instead of brushing it off. That's not weakness. That's leadership over your own life. And let's be clear, this isn't just about your prostate. This is about reclaiming energy, confidence, intimacy, and freedom. When you improve your urinary health, you sleep better, move easier, and feel more like you. That's a transformation worth fighting for. So I'll ask you again, what habit are you going to change starting today?
What's the one thing you're ready to stop tolerating? Tell me in the comments right now. Let's make this space a place for real men having real conversations, without shame, without silence. And if this video brought you clarity, give it a like. Share it with someone you care about. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. Because around here, we don't wait for health to happen, we create it.